Hi guys, I'm Mike.
And I'm Ash.
And this is F1 Fanatics. So, we are back for another video day today and another mid-season ratings video. Obviously in the first video we looked at Mercedes, Red Bull and Ferrari, so the big guns in the sport. Now, just like in those driver predictions videos, the middle field, we're kind of going in constructors from there. So we're looking at McLaren, Toro Rosso and Renault. Guys, if you are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and click that bell notification so you can get more F1 videos just like this today. But Ash, should we get into it?
So yeah, we might as well start with Formula 1.5.
Perfectly, Formula 1.5, and who's topping it?
This guy.
Look at
it's
that,
McLaren.
It's worked in like a smooth thing. I hope, obviously, you guys are still a fan of the PowerPoint presentation.
Yeah, they work.
We're a fan.
That's why I do them. So, your rating?
9. I think McLaren have been absolutely superb in the first half of the season. From where they have been as a team to where they are now, I think it is a massive step forward. Obviously bunny hopping, obviously Haas and Renault have had poor seasons, but having bunny hopped both those teams in the standings and been quite comfortably, I would say, 4th in the constructors. Yeah, I don't really see what more they could have done. 10 would have just literally been they somehow managed to catch a Red Bull or Ferrari or something, but
they
that
have
would have
caught
been
a Red Bull. Consistently caught a Red Bull.
They have, but that's more of a driver than a constructor.
And alright then, well, with me, I went for an 8. I just think there's a little bit more that McLaren can get.
I haven't completely blitzed it, so I can understand that.
Initially, a couple of retirements for reliability issues, and then obviously there's been a few issues with the car on Lando's side of the garage as well. So there's just been a few things that have knocked points away that stopped me from giving them the 9. But I've said it before, I see a podium for McLaren in the second half of the season. I think they're going to be able to take that step up.
It would spice things up a bit, is it? I mean, right, I'm going to get some clarification so we can hold you account for this. Is this a podium in the style of Kvyat, of Hockenheim chaos and rising through the ashes and somehow being there, or the rainstorm, or is it more they're going to get there on merit?
Combination. So I just see there being a race where one of the top teams, probably Ferrari, make a few mistakes and McLaren are there to pick up the pieces. It will probably be Carlos Sainz that gets it, but I just see the improvements that they've made have built the team into a very good standing, and it will be deserved for them to have that podium.
Are they held back by that Renault engine?
Definitely something that would be discussed, wouldn't it?
Well, I do think, would you quickly, just before we move on, do a massive wrap on this, is that obviously Renault still have poor reliability, but McLaren seem to have got something out of this Renault engine in terms of reliability that neither Red Bull before them or Renault themselves could do. So that's quite interesting.
So it's something that it's a car as a whole.
That's annoying in itself.
Well, it's just it's got to be how the car's working within the car, how the engine is working within the car itself,
and what strain it puts on it. Yeah,
exactly. But anyway,
drivers, we should probably go. So Carlos Sainz.
Have to start with him and your rating. Oh, I've put both up.
Oh, God. Sneak preview.
You know what mine's going to be.
Unsee that, guys. Only see the 9, and that is Carlos Sainz. I think he's been absolutely superb. I mean, at the start of the 2019 season, I don't think you can blame Red Bull for letting him go out of the programme and promoting Gasly instead of Sainz, because he showed promise, but nothing in terms of the consistency and strength. Obviously, the McLaren's been a very good car as well, but I just think I think he's got 3 6th place finishes, 2 5th place finishes, 5 points behind Pierre Gasly, having had 3 DNFs that weren't his fault as well.
No.
I just think, I'm not entirely too much sure what Carlos could do. When McLaren drifted to the top of that midfield, he has... Oh, message. When he kind of rose to the top of that, he's kind of capitalised on all the points. Superb so far.
Yeah. Only thing I would say, giving him an 8, and that's because you see his performances on a Sunday and then not being reflected on a Saturday. I would say out of the 2 McLaren drivers, Lando Norris is
Lando
better
is
qualifier.
winning the head-to-head in the qualifier.
So I just think if he was qualifying a little bit better, and especially when you look at the likes of Gasly, Vettel's had a few poor qualifyings, so's Leclerc, and if he'd been able to just take advantage of that a little bit more, then his Sunday performances, as good as they are, could have resulted in maybe that podium already. So,
agreed.
I would say that his rating is a little bit lower on his qualifying performances. On a Sunday, he's been one of the top drivers this season and top performer, one of the top performers across the whole season. And as you said, the 3 retirements he's had were not to do with him, they were reliability issues. So
yeah, I think there was collision in there as well, wasn't there? There was
so it is one of those where he could have a lot more points than he does, but I just think I'm expecting more from him now on a Saturday. So
that is his area he needs to improve. Anyway, Lando Norris.
So your rating for him is?
Another 9. I think he has been superb. You can tell I like McLaren a little bit, but these are clearly, completely neutral decisions. I genuinely think Lando Norris has been. When I think someone's done well, I tend to definitely give them a higher rating. So yeah, Lando has been absolutely superb in qualifying in his rookie season. Out-qualifying his more experienced teammate is absolutely superb. On race days, I think his point finishes have been brilliant, and some of the point finishes he hasn't got has been due to reliability issues that were out of his control. And I just think, first season in Formula 1, I know the McLaren car has risen to the top and is doing well, and so he's in good machinery, but I still think his level of calmness, his level of performance, I can only really think Hockenheim was a race that he didn't particularly do well. He struggled in qualifying, but also in that race he probably would have finished in the points. He only retired on, again, not an issue for him, was a mechanical failure. Was it a hydraulics problem,
Yes,
I think?
I believe so.
From there. But yeah, 9 for Lando.
I've gone for a 7.
Drop.
It's more the fact that his Saturday performances have been so good, and we can see that he can hook a lap together, but on a Sunday he's not able to do it and keep that consistency, and that's one of the reasons why he hasn't always finished as high as he should. So yes, he's had consistent point scoring finishes, but there have been quite a few races where he's started 6th, say, and has dropped towards the lower end of the points because of that consistency with his lap times. So his improvement side of things would be on a Sunday, but I would say definitely top performing rookie. You may see other ratings that might be a little bit higher, but in terms of overall performance, he would be top performing rookie this season so far. But it is just that consistency of lap times. If he can start bringing that together, it will round off his whole race weekend and he will score a lot more points. I just want to see a little bit more from him before I go that little bit higher.
That's the beauty of ratings, because we'll both have a different view on things, and you'll probably have a different view to us guys.
You'll probably be looking at this thinking I'm being quite harsh and good guy, good cop, bad cop.
That might be reversed in later videos.
Maybe. We'll see. But let's move on to Toro Rosso now, and this one there is quite a lot to discuss, I would have thought, considering.
Yeah.
But starting off with team performance, you gave them...
I think they've been solid. I think if you had said to most F1 fans at the start of the season that by the mid-season that Toro Rosso would be 5th in the Constructors' Championship, obviously that podium for Daniel Kvyat in Germany does distort things a little bit, but they've been a consistent point scorer throughout. I think they've had a solid car. Both drivers have performed really well. They seem a team really working in harmony, and I just think they've done a really solid and above average, because they've given them an A, job.
And I've given them a 7. So I agree. I just think when you look at the Toro Rosso this season, it is the podium that's distorting on the whole. They've had some really good races, but they've also had some where it's been quite poor, and it's that consistency side of things. McLaren, you look at, consistently doing well. Toro Rosso, not quite there yet. And I do think there's been quite a few race weekends where the drivers have got a lot more out of the car than is actually available to them. So it is one of those. Development is needed, but it is a good season for Toro Rosso so far, and I would say if at the start of the season someone had turned around to me and said Toro Rosso were going to have had a podium, I'd probably have laughed at them. So
yeah, I mean their track record probably says that. What was it before it? Vettel in 2008.
Yeah. So
number one.
They're not doing too badly. Improvements needed though, I would say.
Cool.
And Daniel Kvyat now. So your rating for him is?
Hey, I think Daniel Kvyat has been really good and a breath of fresh air since he has come back into F1. Obviously, losing his Red Bull seat, and if you compare to what kind of Pierre Gasly has done, Kvyat was performing a lot better when he lost his seat halfway through a season. He was displaced by the talent of Max Verstappen, which I think in fairness would displace a lot of drivers. Kvyat certainly has potential still to be a top driver in the future, but he was crushed, then got dropped by Toro Rosso, went away for a season, was the test driver at Ferrari, wasn't he? Yep.
Yes.
I just said it so confident, I was like, he was, wasn't he? Yeah, no, he was. He's matured a lot. He obviously used to have the nickname of Torpedo, but his on-track racing is absolutely superb now, really solid points finishes, still has that natural pace that he's always had. I've been really impressed by Daniel Kvyat.
I've been impressed as well, but I'm still at a 7.
But not as much as Mike.
It is just, it's the podium. You talk about the podium when you talk about Kvyat's season. So yes, it was a brilliant race for him and a good achievement for the team. It's just there was a lot of external factors that led to that podium. So yes, good season, performed well, is winning the qualifying battle and race battle with Albon. So he has done well. I just think he's using the Torpedo name in his advantage now. So is you're comparing Kvyat to what we'd seen before. So is it that there is that very good driver there, or is it just he's improved that much?
I think he has. I'm gonna give Kvyat credit here.
He has improved.
I think he's still young as well. I'm not sure how old he is.
I'm not sure.
Must be. I think he's around 23, 24. Apologies if you get that wrong. I'll put up something if I'm nowhere near the bracket and he's nearer 30. But I feel like he's got a lot of young room to think, and the young drivers on the grid, what he's been through, I still think he's favourite to claim that Red Bull seat in 2020 as things stand, but obviously the opportunity's in Albon's hands.
So,
Moving on.
Talking of Alexander Albon, he's next.
Here he is.
You've given him
an 8. And I think, both the drivers, I've just been mightily impressed with how they've driven the Toro Rosso car this year. Obviously, Albon's performances have impressed enough to gain him a seat up above into the Red Bull team, which is a superb opportunity for him. Rookie season, like Ashley has said before, he wasn't even sure whether he had a racing seat for this year. I think he's slightly older than the rookies. I believe Albon is 23 years of age. It was kind of make or break, but he's grabbed this opportunity with Toro Rosso with both hands. Obviously the highlight probably talking about when we talked in our mid-season review of Albon when he started in that pit lane and then went on to a points finish was probably the highlight so far. But he's just had a maturity, natural aggression in the overtakes, pace. He's had a very good season and a well-deserved promotion to Red Bull. You just hope it works out for him, that it's not too early.
And I've given him a 7 only because a little bit slow to get started with how to drive the Toro Rosso. So if you look at his natural driving style, it's a lot like Max Verstappen. So it's controlling the turn of the car and how much it's rolling, which obviously in a car like the Toro Rosso where the downforce isn't as consistent and the aero package isn't as strong.
Yeah, suits the cars a little bit more. You've got to drive.
Yeah, you have a lot more wheel turning. You need to be a bit more aggressive in the style of driving in the Toro Rosso. He's adapted well. I just think the step up to the Red Bull has come at the right time for him. Putting him in that car, especially as it has been built for Max Verstappen, you're going to start seeing that pace and that ability that he's shown in lower classes. Because he's going to be... I just don't think the Toro Rosso has fitted him as well. He's performed brilliantly.
Yeah, obviously a positive there as well is the fact that he has shown he's adaptable and thing. And
exactly.
Pierre Gasly hasn't.
That was Gasly's issue. He didn't show any adaptability. But as I say, because of Albon's natural driving style, putting him in the Red Bull, you're going to see some really good things from this kid going, well, I say kid, he's my sort of age, so yeah.
Oh, kiddo.
It's because he's a rookie, but we're going to see some really good performances from him now, and the one I'm looking forward to is that first race in Spa for him. It's going to be difficult. He's going into a new car, new engineers, and well, he's only just started to get to know the engineers at Toro Rosso, so this is going to be make or break for him. But the way to look at it is he now has that Red Bull seat.
Not sure if it's make or break for him. I think he's got I think he's got a seat back at Toro Rosso, and if he keeps performing how he does at Toro Rosso, he will have options if Red Bull decide to drop him. And it's not for them.
In terms of the make or break, I think it's the make or break for him at the top of the grid. If it doesn't go well, I don't think teams are going to be quick to, considering drivers that are in and around those teams with the driver programs, I don't see him getting into a seat at that level again. Yeah. He will, if he doesn't get the Red Bull seat for next season, he will be back at Toro Rosso because he is too much for talent to drop
so early. They're just having a look.
It's just, it's that Red Bull culture, the fact that they'll drop a driver quite quickly if needed. So he needs to get going relatively quickly. Spa for him is going to be a free hit though. I don't think anyone at Red Bull is going to expect him to be on the podium at Spa. I would love to see him on the podium at Spa because it'll be a good one to go towards me getting a driver prediction right for next season.
God, you're so selfish, God.
No, and I like him. Every interview he has, he's always happy. He has a crash in practice, and He had crash in practice in China and he had crash in practice at Hungary. And even after those, he went into the interviews, smile on his face, having a laugh. It's that character and demeanour that makes you think he's going to do well in Formula 1 by being a genuinely nice guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Right, are we moving on?
Time to move on. And we're now at Renault. I've got a feeling that this could go badly.
It could be a very high rating, I believe.
We'll start with...
Superb this season.
Yeah, we'll start with yours.
5. Meh. Some good moments, mainly bad moments. Nothing too bad that I would warrant a 4. Reliability of the car is still an issue, plus not really getting to terms with the setup, and I think another team that have probably struggled with the tyres a little bit. It's been that bit of a season, hasn't it? So I think 5 is probably fair.
I've given him a 5 as well. We've agreed for once in this video.
Hey, this is exciting. Enjoy this moment.
It's just that it's been a hit and miss season. You never know which Renault is going to turn up. Is it going to be a Renault that's going to be performing?
Yeah, is it going to be a Renault that qualifies 4th in? Was it? I
can't remember.
God, Canada?
Look, we're doing numbers. I can't remember.
Yeah, I know numbers. I'm pretty sure it was Canada. Could be wrong.
But yeah, it's the epitome of Renault's performance has to be the last race in Hungary. They had a car that should have been fast enough to get them to the top end of Q2, if not Q3, and they had one car out in Q1, second car out in Q2, not really performing. So that's really where they're at the moment. They're not at the top, they're not at the bottom, they're sort of just in the middle. That's exactly where it's at. We can't do much else, can you? We might as well move on to the drivers.
Might as well.
Daniel Ricciardo to start off with. So, Mike, you gave him?
I gave him a 6. This is tough. I think within the constraints of the team, it is difficult to give him anything higher than this. But I think Daniel Ricciardo, considering that he's in a new team and considering new staff he's had to kind of get to know, a new car and a kind of new aero package and different way of designing the car compared to Red Bull, he's had to go. I think he's done pretty well, but obviously engine failure not his fault, but performances on track have been a bit there. The Q1 wasn't necessarily his fault, but it was him in the team not necessarily gelling in terms of knowing what was the right decision. So it's a 6. So I think he's done more considering one of the things did at 5, but there's nothing really been standout for the season.
And I agree. He's outdriven the team, really. It's
back-to-back agrees. This is brilliant. Yeah, record.
When he's performed, it's been okay. He's done more than you can expect with the car. The one thing you need to remember, completely new environment. The aero package of the Renault is nowhere near what it was with the Red Bull, and to be fair, engine-wise, it doesn't look anything like with the Red Bull, because...
Well, I think he personally came out and said Red Bull acted like winners and Renault don't. So it's a confidence thing, admittedly so with how Renault has been over the past few years, but they need to do that, and he's part of that environment to do it.
The thing is, at Red Bull last season, with the Renault engine, even if they weren't confident in it behind the scenes, if they could finish a race, you felt that they would be scoring good points, even with the reliability issues. With this Renault, you never expect the car to finish. Like, the reliability just hasn't been there, and I just think he has been one of those that's not been able to do anything about it. He's obviously made the decision to go to Renault. Was it a right one? Only time will tell. At this moment in time, no. and I think he knows that. He's not been the Ricciardo you expect. Normally, he's like Albon. This season, he's come out.
Things have got to him a little bit more.
Yeah.
He looks a frustrated figure.
Exactly, and in races on the team radio, if he can't get past someone, he's moaning about it. He's trying to find reasons why he's not doing as well, when in all honesty the real reason is the car's just not good enough. So 6 for outdriving the car, but struggle to go any higher on that.
Which leaves only
Nico Hülkenberg. You've given him?
6 as well. I think again, he hasn't necessarily driven too bad, maybe a few more mistakes. And Ricciardo, some steady point scoring performances, maybe should have been marked slightly harsher, but again, not really being himself, as we talked about in the driver predictions, in him maybe not being around in F1 next year. But I don't see him. I think his love for kind of Renault, although I think I've seen it, he's confident about staying in F1, so that's probably that prediction out the window. But I don't see him in a Renault team. I think with Ricciardo there, it's just upset his balance of where he is. I think he probably now views a new challenge, and that Red Bull seat might also be an option for him come the end of the season if
Maybe.
both Albon doesn't there. Very steady performer.
Well, I agree. When he's performed, he's outperformed the car. It's just been a hit and miss performance from him this season. He hasn't been himself, letting things get to him in races, I think, and there's been a lot of frustration within the Renault team, none more so than in Germany for him, when, the slowest crash you're ever going to see. But it is just not worked this season for both Renault drivers and as a team. I just expect more from Nico Hülkenberg. He's one of those drivers where if he's not...
He's set himself such high standards in the past, hasn't he?
Well, he's always been a consistent point scorer, even in cars that you don't expect to score points. So, definitely one where I expected more from him. And in all honesty, he probably should have driven better at Hockenheim, because he was in a position to get his first podium. But
it might just elude him.
You may not get an F1 podium, but he hasn't been himself, and that's the issue. When you're not your normal character, things don't go your way, and that's how this season's gone for Nico Hülkenberg. So unfortunately, 6 from me.
There we go, and that rounds up that, guys. That is our mid-season ratings of the top end of Formula 1.5. From there, who actually started calling it Formula 1.5?
I can't remember.
I think it might be Aldas in terms of one thing.
I can't.
I feel like it's thing. If it is your thing, sorry we nicked it.
It's been around for a while now,
we'll go from there. That's where I hear it most on that anyway. Anyway, so guys, if you enjoyed that, let us know. Get involved in the comments. If you agree with what we've said, comment below. If you disagree with what we said, comment below. We're happy to have a chat with you guys and see how things go. And don't remember, if you like the video, give us a thumbs up. Always helps us out.
And make sure you press the subscribe button so you can always see what we're putting out, what we're getting up to, regular stuff coming out. But to be even quicker on that, press the bell icon. You'll be able to get notifications, and the minute our videos hit your inbox, be straight on, and you never know, you might get first comment.
Yeah, this is your place for all kind of F1 related content here on YouTube, guys. Anyway, guys, there's only one way to round off one of our videos, and that is F1 fans, keep racing. Hi guys, hope you enjoyed the video today. Don't forget that this is the place where you can get all your latest F1 content right here on F1 Fanatics. If you haven't done already, you can subscribe to the channel by clicking down here below, and maybe check out part 1 of this mid-season rating series up here. And then if you hadn't, maybe check out our 2020 predicted lineups with the same teams down here. Thanks guys.